Bob, can we talk about compliance and the kinds of challenges that that brings to an organization?
Compliance is the requirement for an organization to obey the laws and regulations that exist in its markets. And it exists in every industry, for any organization, but it's most relevant in very heavily regulated industries like healthcare or financial services. And compliance requires the gathering, the organization, and the reporting on of vast amounts of data and information to regulators. And that creates a significant administrative and management and technology challenge for organizations to address that on a regular basis.
Compliance is obviously a very expensive proposition for the corporation. How does that tie in with knowledge management, and what kinds of solutions or benefits does knowledge management have for compliance?
Well, the conventional wisdom is that compliance reporting and all of the things that I described are just a necessary administrative burden for the organization. They set up standalone departments and technology systems to process and report on compliance data. But it doesn't have to be that way. And in fact, compliance reporting can really be thought of as a catalyst for business insight and for better decisions. Let me give you an example. So in healthcare, healthcare regulators require providers, these are hospitals and medical providers, to collect and report on patient information, patient outcomes, demographic information, sicknesses and diseases for the purposes of regulations and other industry requirements. But if you think of how all of the benefits that organization can achieve by pulling all that information together from multiple repositories and using that to improve clinical guidelines, patient outcomes, and even disease management, that can help a hospital stand apart and run their business much more successfully with better outcomes and better profitability.
So, Bob, what is the best way for corporations to put this kind of thing into practice and to make knowledge management and compliance work hand in hand together?
Well, as I've mentioned, organizations that can find a way to deliver business insight out of their compliance-related data can really stand apart and differentiate themselves. But it doesn't happen alone. And what we've seen is that the organizations that do this successfully do three things very well. The first thing that they do is they integrate data management. So they bring all of the information that is collected for compliance purposes into a single data warehouse, managed in a single way so that that can be accessed and used for decision making and reporting. The second thing they do is they align data with the front line of the business. And one of the ways that organizations do this is by putting in place a senior business executive called a chief data officer. This is somebody who sits in the business and works to advise business units on the best way that they can actually use data to make decisions and do it more effectively. Another way that organizations help align things to the front line is to put this in the accountabilities of standard management reporting for business units so that they can demonstrate how they're using data to make better decisions. The final thing is to focus analysis on key business challenges and key questions. And a pitfall that many organizations make is that they merely report on data to report on data, so that they're creating reports and charts on all the information they have, as opposed to aligning it around the key challenges that they have and the key business questions that can help them deliver more value. So when organizations do that well and do all these things well, we find great success, and this is all part of, again, helping to get value out of compliance data.
Well, Bob, thank you very much for your answer.